looks like, I'm trying to see if that time is up now, but I think it actually is the pause icon there at the top. For this game. Yeah, I think you're right. With the Anubis as well in particular, it's like it's one of those that maybe they're leaning in towards that T side a little more. The puggier nature of it. But we'll see. With that music being played, though, it looks like we are finally about ready to get this one up and running. Number one here of our second series of the day. We kickstart on Fighter's pick of Anubis, and that'll be starting on that CT side.
Yeah, we are into the action here. They're leaning for some B information, sending the feelers out into the water, it would seem. It's more of an A lean here from the fighters on the CT side. Smoke's going to come in. Got Riggy at the back, just kind of watching the line, hoping to find something. Maybe he has to be careful on his spams these days, of course. Those pistols were the ones I think that feel it the most. He drops a few bullets, as you can see, but not going crazy with it. We'll start to now push in as the rest of the team gets here. Like I mentioned, he's got that kit, he's got that smoke ready to go. A little on top of each other here at the moment. Trying to net this first kill. Kloku's angle seems to be the deadly one to me. He's got a man to back him as well. Not looking good as the heads will start rolling. Highfield falls at the back. It's Henky G down below, who does manage to get a kill, but it's to no consequence, really. That'll be that, and KOLESIE to take the pistol.
Yeah, and that's what I think for this KOLESIE side as well. Like we said, big expectations. We're assuming this side should, for the most part, quite seamlessly make their way through this game. I was wondering, actually, in terms of the calling department, you know, Friend started calling for a bit in towards Wildcard. He's got a bit of a strat sheet up there as well. They've got a few people in this side who definitely can be voices to reason on KOLESIE. I feel like they're definitely going to be taking some input in from Friends. I'm going to dive in towards this site, and they come Molly in towards back flat. Byfield in a bit of trouble here. He'll swing out. Bit of damage dealt, but that's as good as it gets. Now a 2 versus 5, no real chance.
Oh. Wacky spray there to find that kill. And a little bit of a leg showing. Henky G not as safe as he thought. So KOLESIE second. Relatively easy as well to get that one on the board. So what more do we have available here? It is going to be the early rifles to come out from the CT side. A little bit lacking in places. Not going to get that AWP out for Byfield just yet. So looking to try and net this first one. And, well, lacking a bit of a kit as well. So, yeah, rough around the edges, but certainly workable.
Yeah.
We'll, of course, have our primary partner in Lorgar. Always ready to play. Always ready to go. Do be sure to check them out. Lots of banners down below as well from all our partners to check out. Lots of offers going on at the moment. Some giveaways as well, I believe, to get involved in. So make sure you check all that out if you are here for a good time.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Important round for fighters to put something on the board or reinvest back in. Molly on towards pillar, flash behind it. In they come. Second flash could be spicy, yeah, and it'll catch Henky G. Quasar for one, but a quick trade and the bomb will go down. I think you might just save it of your fighters, to be honest.
But thinking about it for a moment, it does depend. Ooh, Kloku is the one in the forward position, so maybe if he goes down very quickly, but in terms of the defuse, I think that's going to be the real question. If there was a kit available, I'd perhaps start to believe in this, and they will manage to find some decent frags. I feel goes down in the end, but not quite going to happen for them. It was pretty close, actually. I think maybe if they had managed just a couple seconds faster, they could potentially have got that bomb defuse in, but all the same, no kit makes that one pretty undesirable.
Yeah, it's not a not a terrible effort. And it kind of felt in a position as well like they were going to immediately give up. When the bomb goes down, it looked like they were cancelling, but they're actually just grouping up. They keep it expensive, but all KOLESIE care about is round 1 for them. Beautiful stuff. Low buy, so expectations are pretty minimal for the most part.
A lot of bodies on B, though. I do kind of worry. Just have to be careful with how they face this. Rotations are going to come in pretty quickly as well. Trace is being followed on both sides of this smoke, really. Is there anything else available for that CT side? Henky G managed to get himself a kill in towards mid, so he's going to take the save. Nearly denying the bomb plan, but not quite. So I think Neri and Byfield will give this a little look. Round itself feels highly unlikely. Damage, though, feels pretty good. An AK suddenly. There is a kit over there.
Yeah.
Smoking towards B main as well. Oh. That's kind of strange now. No real trade opportunity, unfortunately. They will just kind of have to concede things. Yeah, no easy peek comes in for the CT side. So, 4th round. KOLESIE looking good.
Yeah. There was a moment there. Ever so slight brief moment. Maybe something could have gone awry, but... not this time. 4-0. And you can see that at the very least for fighters, like, they are still making this a bit problematic in some scenarios. They're still not completely rolling over without a fight, but it is quite quickly KOLESIE building up a pretty substantial lead. Four 4-0 as we enter the bye for the CT side. What a fight has got for us. And should keep an eye on that ult for Byfield. Pretty sharp with it.
Riggy trained in and ready in this connector position. Maybe looking for that first fight, but they are going to be forced away pretty effectively. Distracted away as well is the key thing. Ooh, headed towards middle. The AWP pulls away. Still going to have eyes on with this camera player. Quasar swinging in, just not quite ready for them. They have been fooled into believing it was B. A lot of resources put in over there. I think that has to be an immediate save, unfortunately.
Yeah. If you can.
Byfield goes down. That definitely confirms it. Yeah, he was having a look. I wouldn't have called that a save from him, to be fair. Always a pretty get up and go kind of guy. He's going to give that a little look for sure, but not going to work out yet.
I guess hindsight off the back of the immediate death would have liked keeping it AWP alive, and even still, there's only one left. Probably about to be not nice little wrist swing in for Ricky. Overlooks the angle though, and well, Mulaney's there. 5-0 KOLESIE, and another gun round converted for them. Again, this is just proof of just how solid the side can be, right? I mean, we know they're very good at not pulling punches and looking incredibly consistent, and this is exactly what we've kind of got on offer. Wonderful showing at the moment. And safe to say, dicey display from fighters who just can't compete really in terms of the push and pull of the map control.
Indeed. Trying to just get on the mic and, you know, be a bit confident here. Again, something that Byfield would take under his wing. Like Neo and I have said a couple of times. Someone that we know. Ex-commentator as well.
Yeah.
Used to be known as Snods. But I think started things off as like a semi-pro epic LAN kind of player. And so move back into that. He's found an angle under the streaming, you know, high-level streamer and whatnot. I think he's about 3,100 elo on FACEIT at the moment.
There you go.
But still playing competitively as well, so that's cool to see. Nice little flash going out here. Lovely strat that they've talked over. Henky G will find 2, make it 3. In fact, he oversteps ever so slightly and will go down, but I think they'll take that trade of information. You look how many more CTs are here to try and deal with Clocku. All of a sudden, this is looking like Fighters with their first round.
Yalani, all that's left. Really nothing he can do in this. Surely from this position, absolutely unlosable. And yeah, off the back of a pause, straight into success. I mean, that's exactly the kind of round we're looking for. And it does open the door now to potentially making a bit of a run here. You want to get probably at least 4 rounds on the CT side, I think, as like a worst case scenario. Well, the big thing is essentially about, can you actually properly put pressure on towards KOLESIE on your map pick, give yourself a bit of confidence, actually finally kind of wake up in towards the series a little bit.
Yeah, it can be a bit tough, right, when you're playing against a team that's just going to be so well drilled from the off. Can be harder to get into the same kind of mindset, the same kind of groove. Uh-oh. Not enough time, right? Absolutely no way. But doing some damage, taking some money is potentially the argument here. Yeah, just looking very, very clean. And again, still kind of waking fighters up to the level of consistency to like each and every moment that KOLESIE are going to be able to bring here, right? With just how good their individuals are.
Yeah, exactly that. Fair play. Nice little move. Just to continue parting that pressure on. I think, like you said, it's like really making them aware in a sense of this is the level that they can play at. This is how good they can really be. Can't afford to let things, you know, slip or coast a little bit, even if it is a guaranteed round. There's a chance at lining up 2 there. Could be a decent positive trade, though. Sticking around, Rayquaza needs to be careful. Clocku on that smoke, tries to swing, but he'll lose his head for it.
Big find. Could really be the difference maker here. 1:15 left on the clock, so Rayquaza is definitely going to have to fight his way out. However, he's got some support from behind. Henky G takes some pressure off, allowing him to escape and gaining them a man advantage. Well, there's some good information on where that bomb is, so really quite a nice move, and a name that I've heard a little bit about floating around in that UK scene. Henky G might be a guy to watch, so has he given them enough to win the round, though, is the big question. They've unfortunately not got anyone on A, and that bomb has managed to just slip the net and get the plant over here.
Bomb has been planted.
Well, on down smoke as well. Re-smoked, technically, camera. And Sobor going to play behind this. Break on said smoke, which he gets 1. And he stays tucked. And then he stays tucked in an awkward enough spot that you really have to get that spray perfectly lined up. Lurk smoke comes through. Innocent playing backside. And all he's trying to do is buy time here for Innocent. They swing on towards Cake, and he's just dancing around it. He's got to get both. Innocent. Beautiful work from him as KOLESIE bite back.
Yeah, and that's tough. This is the thing. You give them an inch, they're able to take a mile. There's a good, keen man advantage. They opted to give up control of the bomb, thinking that it would take a bit more time for that T side to perhaps re-aggress and pick it back up. Really tough. And similar to the previous game with Diamond, right? It's where you're able to separate the sort of good teams and the great teams, or the better teams of this group, this tournament. It is in those 50-50s. It is in those clutch situations. Because they just have individuals that have been there so many times, not worrying.
Sure.
looking really comfortable, and that was definitely the case in that one.
Hey, spot on. Both sides now are calling a timeout apiece. That was called by KOLESIE. Maybe because it's getting as close as it is. You know, these rounds themselves are ever so slightly coming down to the wire. I find it wild having that graph up. Like it's your ping and your like your net graph,
I saw that
essentially.
at the
But
start.
like it's wild. I have it up where like right at the top. Yeah, right at the top it shows me like in the, you know, small letters my like ping and, you know, if I have any sort of like net jitter or anything like that. But having that whole graph moving, and you know, it takes up a pretty decent chunk of the screen as well.
Yeah, I seem to remember Steel Nissan famously talking about this. A lot of pros pick up like bad habits like that, quick switching a bit too much.
Yeah.
You know, just messing around, the like ADHD brain and not quite locking in and focusing, particularly in officials. So, yeah, it would distract me an awful lot as well. Is it the winning formula, getting rid of that? Not quite sure at the moment for fighters, but it could help. They're a man down here as this round has panned out. A few aggressive moves from them. So, again, not letting up. Rayquaza has again pushed through B main, so he's grabbed some info. They might be aware of that, and they have again thread the needle. KOLESIE just playing so well around the info game. And this is the thing, fighters might have some good shooters baked in here, but tactically, they're getting pretty pulled apart.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And that's that big difference maker. It's, you know, it's kind of what we spoke about. Like, we know that it might be able to have a few people who can hit hard, but can you actually compete when it comes towards the game plan and the strategy? We just know there's so much depth to KOLESIE right now. Safe will come through with those double AWPs. On a 7-1 scoreline, they are walking away at the moment with this first half. And, kind of a sentiment that we've mentioned quite a few times. This is one in which they're not even really breaking a sweat. Like, it's pretty effortless. There's a couple of moments where the rounds themselves are going down to the wire ever so slightly, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's beautiful stuff. It really is. I'm seriously worried for fighters. They got 2 more pauses, and to be honest, at this rate, I wouldn't mind burning these pauses. Kind of, honestly, you know, the entirety of this first half. Just keep going through them.
Yeah, no, it is true. Just try and pick up any kind of momentum. This, of course, you know, their map pick, we said it was a slightly curious one, and they're seeing that maybe the game functions very, very differently at the level that they are used to, that Pug Star level. We'll see. Breaking the smoke. Oh, friend, 2 HP. Is there a nade for him? There is. I think that could have been miles away, and it still would have done enough damage to take him. So that is unfortunate. They recover his utility and lick their wounds, try and find something a bit different. However, I don't know what KOLESIE are going to cook up. It seems like they still want to head towards B here if they can.
Yeah. Oh. Find our spam on the smoke. It's really not far off. It's just a tad bit early. Only that comes down. They'll be forced forward. Flash around the corner. He can't deny the plant here. He spots the shoulder. He doesn't confirm the kill, but thankfully, Rayquaza and Rigi will. So a second on the board for fighters. And once again, that's another one which we feel a little bit, you know, more comfortable with. That's a nice shutdown. Yes, the bomb goes down, but for the most part, all they care about is guarantee that round over the board, which they do. Beautiful work. You take that. Now it's about chaining this into a bit of momentum for this sort of, you know, tail end of this half. Give yourself some foundation to work with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there is still space to do that. And there is still this CT side that you don't expect too many rounds out of as well. So if they can get to 4 or 5, I think you can say that that is a decent half. But we have to see if they can do that, right? And again, it's one of those games where it feels like KOLESIE will have enough to just shut them down. It is going to be difficult. of course. But yeah, just to once again shout out Lorgar. I think they have all the things that you might need all in one place, right? For streaming, sim racing, all that kind of stuff. Many different levels of entry as well. Speaking of entries, Lilani will get a double. However, Rigi keeps things interesting here. Henky G, unsure of the A main, but he's hidden away on this new box. He's going to be spotted. I thought maybe his head on a swivel to check all the angles. Sobol has crept in while all this noise is being made towards middle, and he might just have found the all-important kill.
Bomb down. Good timing on the smoke. There is a sizable gap in it. And Rigi won't respect it as he moves on forward. Barrel spotted, head found, but he can't get the second onto Violani. And now it's all onto Byfield. Lurg smoke and a flash behind it. Gonna send himself out. 1 versus 2 now. He knows there was one somewhere around heaven. Has no real idea about where Innocent is. And of course, also lost track of Violani. Moving around, it's an open plant. So he's got to know it's a main play. He's not on the bomb. Innocent knows this too. And Violani is creeping round Byfield. He doesn't have enough time, but it's not a bad effort in the 1 versus 2. He will go down here, but at least individually showing that sharpness.
Yeah, absolutely. Build up the highlight reel, but it's still going to be a tough one here, right? They needed the strung together rounds. And the fact that the return comes immediately just means that the conversation starts about the game being over in the first half again. You know, we try and build them up. We try and give them some hope. It just doesn't quite work out for this one. Nonetheless, they're still able to come together with a reinvestment. Double up setup here to try and mix things up. So maybe they can still revive this scoreline. 2 more rounds on offer.
Sobel waiting. I say for the aggression, but a smoke down will slow it down. And this is making noise around water here. That's a known quantity. Byfield went looking for it, but just couldn't quite find it. He'll fall further back, which is probably the smart way to play it. No point giving up a fight for nothing. Smoke down on towards bridge. He'll tuck himself back towards the A side, which is where KOLESIE really do like going. So it's a good kind of decision from him to come and bolster up these defenses.
Yeah, I would think so. Utility comes in. I thought they were going to get ahead of it, but they are just waiting patiently. Contact flash by Field. Over at Bricks here, trying to find this first one, and he does net a kill. However, I was going to say what's happening. He needs some support. I believe the player on site has ended up inside of a smoke. He's going to try and strike here, and maybe Henky G can save this situation. It looks like it. Koku is insanely low. He's going to tap out and try and win this 1 versus 3. Surely not. They were playing their triangle. He's just crept under. Must have been seen on the minimap. They seem to be aware, and yeah, Rigi takes him down in the end. So, again, some nice moments, some luck on their side maybe as Henky G inside that smoke, but he makes it work. And now up to 3. So give us 1 more and maybe we can say, okay, T-side could work. But going to need this final round.
Yeah, exactly that. Not a bad effort though. Good work from Henky G. I think it's what we're saying. Like, you get these moments for fighters where, at the very least, you feel like there's a little bit of something on offer here. And that gives you that bit of belief. Is it delusion? Potentially a little bit, but... See, flash over. Nade down by Rigi. He's under a lot of pressure here. This lower by. Trying to dive in. Rigi for 3. The 4th is on offer as he runs out of ammo. He'll pull out the USP and he'll shut it down. Big celebration by him as well. He's happy with that. And that is a 4th for fighters. So, 4th round is that bare minimum, and they hit it.
You do indeed get it. Bit of energy towards the tail end. Some individual moments to maybe spur them forwards. Get that energy up and again get readjusted into things. Lovely and clean by Rigi there, as we see it on the replay. And starting to hit some shots. So definitely feeling themselves in places, I would imagine. Can they keep it going? Now onto the T side, of course. Stronger T side. Their pick. We're expecting big ideas here. Or at least some ideas, I suppose. Can be difficult to say what kind of approach they're going to bring. Got some utility brought up into this round, but not too much, and that will be it. So mostly armors. Henky G, they send him first. Having a little look towards middle, but he's going to lose his head quick sharp.
Clock hoop. Fall off the angle, but overlooked. Oh, friend. Being very friendly there by not hitting any of them.
Nice. Pretty good.
Thanks, man.
Innocent. Is he going to be innocent of the crimes? I don't think so. Not quite as good as Neo's, but, you know, I'm capable too. Friend, however, now no longer a friend, maybe. Clean shots on the cards if he can get a couple more going. Oh, Koku in from behind. Big round out from him as he finds that thread. It's Friend, though, who, yes, he might have missed the initial exchange, as we joke about, but he's able to stay alive and just keep the shape, keep the pressure, and find a couple key kills at the end.
Yeah, it looked dicey for a second, but yeah, in the end, good recovery from them. 9 now, no bomb plant, means no real buy to work with. 4 fighters, so it should be 10-4 pretty easily for KOLESIE. Speed running through this map at the moment. And it's not a good sign, because this is the map pick, of course, of fighters. Not over until it's over, I guess, is the main...
it's true.
It's kind of talking point, but yeah, I mean, this is still going to be a really big ask.
Yeah, it's certainly looking rough, I think, from the get-go. And as we saw in the previous series, it's these CT sides where the firepower has actually felt a bit more, because the other players who are not at the front of the pack, not finding those entries, are able to have a bit more impact, able to get in the fights more, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like, instead of having a couple players that are at 150% effectiveness, you've got 5 players that are all at a solid 90% participation in the round and able to just find kills across the map. You know, you really can't isolate a particular area, and that's something that, you know, Jame and Paravision have kind of been cheesing a little bit. May well get figured out as the year goes on, but they obviously at this opening tournament just pummeled bomb sites with the weakest CT player because of how effective that can be. So if you can't find that weak player, what are you going to do?
That's it. Like we said, the 10th there, we expected to get effortlessly. And they do. In a round like that, if you get a bomb plant, that is about as good as it gets. Anything else feels very, very unlikely. You don't get anywhere near. This gun round really does feel like it's kind of make or break here, in a way. If you don't find this, it's all but done, to be honest. I'll be KOLESIE up to 12 before you can then reinvest in. Surely no real chance. Let's see, they're diving out here. On towards this B site. The first are all falling apart. Byfield will join the pack as well. The last man spotted in towards jail. It's an easy shutdown by KOLESIE, and quickly too.
Yeah, looking like it might be a swift finish here. Just not really any contest coming into this second half, and it is unfortunately a familiar tale for us. We'll see. This round probably not going to have much in it, so you are in that damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. Are you forcing? Are you saving for the OT? Really quite tough to say here, of course, and seems like they will go somewhere down the middle. That's kind of to be expected. Make sure they have money for guns in the next one, but it's going to be a run back of 8 rounds in a row.
I see. Have they got it in the locker? Realistically, no, is the long and short of it. Oh, innocent. Are you kidding me? What is that shot? Didn't even mean it. It was just a little fadeaway tap, but that's a ridiculous one. He's looking for more. Oh, he's tapping away. He was better with the tap than he was with the spray, and he shut down that mid-control. The last 2 spotted. They line up as well for Friend. Those shots are ridiculous from Innocent, especially that first.
Crazy work. I mean, as I talked about coming into this series, it was like, are we just going to be able to fight back and shoot back? And there's been some rounds where that's happened, to be fair. You know, Riggy and Rayquaza pulling some weight into this. It's not quite enough, though. Riggy being the only positive player. Trying to get him activated as they boost up towards middle here, but nobody on the other end of it. So there is space. If they want to take some mid control, that could be the place to go. A-main nades being lined up here, though. They seem to have a decent read on it. Friend on the AWP will miss. Is there a contact flash? I thought maybe Innocent was lining it up. Sobol able to find the first kill nonetheless.
Innocent. Break on the smoke gun barrel. Spotted. Biaki probably should have just confirmed his kill rather than biding time. Friend, honestly, could have lined up a couple there, but Bialani's in for that second man who avoids the collat, and it's all on to Rayquaza. Don't know if Faku heard him. Now he'll know about him. There's no chance. He's got to go for the long old wrap to get the bomb and then try and do something in this 1 versus 3.
Yeah, is that possible? To save the game. And maybe the series here overall, honestly. With that Ancient coming up next. Quaza. Smoke goes down. Walks straight into the path of the AWPer. So 13-4. There were some moments on the CT side. T side never got going. Did not happen at all. As things looking really quite simple for the Polish side of things. Kind of as expected, unfortunately. Fighters not necessarily subverting the expectations in that sense. It would have been nice to maybe see them...
Yeah, make sure the ping is 100% and yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I got to respect it, to be honest. Yeah, they got that one, which is... That's the one that's always up. We were kind of talking about that a little bit into our last map. It's a bit of a wild thing. It's so distracting. I just don't know how you play with that, honestly. But with that music, that should confirm that we are about ready to get this show on the road. It is map number 2. It's Ancient, the pick of KOLESIE.
Excited to get into things here and see how this CT side, particularly of fighters that, you know, we had a bit more success on over on Anubis. If they're able to kind of replicate that, start off with a pistol here, get some clean rounds under their belt. But that's a task in and of itself, of course. A lot of utility coming over the top here. Riggy trying to find that first. And he will manage it down the ramp, actually, going forwards instead of backwards. Certainly a smart move from him, but eventually dealt with, as you would expect. Still, a lot of info gained. Able to just kind of keep them hemmed in towards the B-bomb site itself. Every single fighter's player that remains, though, coming in from the CT angle. No kit this time around, so no madness as they try and pull off a defuse. It's going to be the Julies that we keep our eyes on here. Rayquaza, no armor, though, interestingly enough, so can be a bit harder to get them working. Or can it? Spamming away is enough for him to work with. Finds one through that smoke, of course. Going to leave it all onto Lilani, and he cannot get anything done. It will be the pistol going the way of fighters.
Yeah, nice way to start things off. Just about, to be fair, that timer right down to the wire. But, yeah, like you mentioned, starting off well. And they needed that. We needed to kind of see this side put a really good kind of forward foot in towards this sort of a game and set a real tone. And that's how it's supposed to go about it. A bonbon is still a decent thing, right? Obviously, it puts you in a position where you can still buy into the next one, as we're seeing here, right? Triple Gale come through, Tech 9 for Sobel, and a Deagle for Friend to round it out. So it still is a bit precarious. It still is potentially kind of scary. But nonetheless, not a terrible, terrible predicament to be in for fighters. If they can chain this together, you get a second on the board, the third comes kind of naturally, and before you know it, you're starting to the main thing you want to see, which is scaling in towards this sort of a game.
Slower start into this one. KOLESIE leaving one player out on towards B and then also one out on A. And I suppose these mid guys are just going to wait and see what their lurkers cook up. More of a faking position from A, it would seem, though. Just trying to bait in some aggression, aren't they? Try and get that first kill. Slow creep in towards Donut. However, Milani, who's been left to his own devices, that finds the opening kills. So all of a sudden, as they were thinking about more of an A lean, they will pivot towards B, and it's only one player over here in the form of Byfield. He's able to get one, but he's instantly dealt with. It will be a 4 versus 2 just like that.
And what do you do from a spot like this, realistically? Oh, just trying to spam on through, but Sobble will find Neri, and before you know it, Rayquaza, all he can opt to do is save. That's really got to hurt. Letting that fall away for nothing. It's a very, very awkward way to kind of drop this. Immediately puts the pressure back on.
Terrorists win.
To tilter, but it also has a nice double opener. That Galil gets super active. You gotta love it.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say things looking a little problematic ultimately is sort of the problem. And I think that, you know, there is an awful lot to go off of for KOLESIE here. With winning a round like that, they're able to just break the economy pretty massively, forcing an early timeout from fighters so they could talk things over and figure out how they want to get this done. Trying to stay vocal, trying to just keep the spirits up ultimately. But easier said than done in a game like this where, you know, you can just have that one player rip through you and win the round all by himself, as we saw.
Definitely a tilter, though. Letting that slip for essentially in that sort of a way. But can't immediately discount it. Let's find out maybe for fighters if they can pull off a little bit of something special themselves. Talking here, Scout, MP7, of course, saved, and that Scout invested into. Great of pistols around it. Still definitely feels like a big arse here, but shall see. Sobble. Nice find, and that's the immediate threat put to rest.
Eagle out. Neri not quite able to get anything done with it, so looking good with those 2 kills, to be honest. I think with where your cash is at, you probably save. They don't seem too into that idea. Going to try and at least find one, right? Is maybe what they're after. Henky G and Byfield hiding out in the red room area. Going to start moving forwards and, like I say, just try and find this one kill. Maybe steal a rifle. Easier said than done at this point. There's the tag on the Scout. Can Henky G capitalize? I would argue perhaps not. Oh, lucky as Blalani moves away and kind of weirdly setting Henky G up here, actually. He might be able to find this kill that he's really been patient and waiting for. Not going to happen, though, unfortunately, after all that.
Yeah, 1 to 2, but not to be in the end. Bless him. That being said, 2 to 1. Ever so slight lead that immediately should be added onto with just the lack of finances to work with for the CT side. Of course, they have to be force buying in. It's just naturally how the meta is right now. They're going to be double eco regardless. But the fact that it falls apart so quickly is, again, that kind of proof in the pudding of just what KOLESIE are all about. And we spoke about it a bunch of times. Like, it's all well and good getting the pistol, but it's the force buy that really matters and kind of makes that that difference and gives you the momentum. Clocku, there's a few here. There's a few here. There is. Oh, he gets 3 out of the 4. That's not a bad effort.
Yeah, going to be happy with that for sure. Riggy to hold on and take this gun into the next round, hopefully. But there will be a light hunt coming his way. Probably a heavier hunt as well as the seconds wind down on this clock. Round confirmed for sure, as you would expect. But can they stop the M4 making it into the next round? I mean, he's going to buy anyway, so I think he might also be looking for a tiny bit of a fight himself. And they will kind of be after him, but I thought a heavier hunt here. He might just get away with this, yeah, and it seems like they're more concerned with saving rather than taking the rifle away.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess I can somewhat understand it. It's early enough in the game where you want to just make sure. Just keep hold of as much of that money on deck. I guess, you know, we're only 4 rounds in. And how scary is one rifle going to be when you know they've got a full buy? Like, it doesn't make a difference, I guess, in that sense. But there's so much to like at the moment for KOLESIE. Nothing really has changed at all. Still those worries. See. Any chance of making something here in towards this round? It immediately puts a bit of a forward foot here. You want to be getting a decent CT side. As we spoke about KOLESIE, 57% T side win rate. So this is their best half. So for fighters, any pressure you put on in this first half really will help in towards the second.
The utility out here. Just trying to force a spam kill. Doesn't quite happen. Not even going to do that much damage, to be honest. However, they're still feeling confident around B. There's 3 players on B, and one with a potentially quick rotation, actually. Byfield goes down as he tries to move through the smoke. Are the trades going to be good enough? Not quite. The T's do outnumber now, and they've gained control of the B bomb site. Bomb's a bit far away to actually get the plant in, so maybe a slim window for Rayquaza here. But just slipping on the timing ever so slightly on that CT side. They do get bested. Side swipe coming in. Fully confirms this one for me. It'd be Neri to save.
Yeah, it doesn't, unfortunately, get too much of a choice here. Especially just how quickly that C4's gone down. He knows he's got no chance. He's going to look at a little hunt here. I don't think this is a terrible idea. Why not? But unfortunately, they may as well just go and join up with Sobol, to be honest. Exit where he's gone. Might be the case. Doesn't get anything. And a 4th for KOLESIE. Goes without saying that this side are loving life right now in the server. And a continuation of a very concerning predicament.
Yeah, just not looking good, man. Really adding to our predictions in this one.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think that there's an awful lot to praise from KOLESIE, but the fighters side of things just unable to match up, really. Timeout taken early, doesn't quite work for them. And they're now on this rough rotation, but, you know, this is the world of the officials, man. This is the world of the big teams. Really see the difference.
It's true. They're different
Probably
gravy.
a team that could start vying for, like, top 60, I think, right? They're just...
Yeah, I can see that.
Grinding away, trying to get the numbers. The roster only being together for a couple of months, and then I'm not quite sure at this level, like, the amount of VRS that you really take across with you, you know, and whatnot when you trade teams. So,
yeah.
Nice work. It's been a bit of a grind there.
Yeah, I mean, this side, I think definitely have all the makings to be like a top-end contender of kind of like the tier 2. You know, we expect this as the sort of team that will go, you know, like deep in a CCT and that kind of vibe, right? And you know, we've kind of seen a lot of their people from their nation. I'm thinking about some of these Polish sides that have gone super deep in kind of some of these recent online tournaments, and they feel like they're right up there with them. So
yeah, I'm just kind of looking here, actually. So you had like Cloku, Innocent, and Sobol keep the VRS points. Seems like at the start of the month there was just a pretty heavy dip for them. I don't know if they had a tough loss in there, maybe.
Okay.
That could have made a difference, but it seems like they were more towards the top 50 just a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, definitely proving that at the moment. Mid control coming in, looking pretty damn strong. Heads up fights as Fighters trying something a bit different, just trying to get in here and force the fights out. Not quite happening. It will be Riggy left in the 1 versus 3. Directly a 1-on-2 on the side itself. Takes a lot of damage as he tries to make that initial move, and the flank coming in is just numbering his days here. Surely a goner. Maybe later than I expected, to be fair. Moves into Temple. He's going to get checked. Oh! Nearly gets away with it, but not quite. And Innocent. He's got some bad thoughts in his head here. Some very bad thoughts indeed. Okay, he goes for the funny one.
Yeah, the peekaboo.
He didn't know he was low. Rather than trying to go for the knife and risking embarrassment.
Yeah, it's the old peekaboo. I kind of like that. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm curious now as I've had a little look, like trying to get to the bottom. Because we've got 16th of February, they peaked at 46.
Oh, okay.
HLTV, 50 VRS. But recently they've had a dip to where they're at now, which is 73 HLTV and 71 VRS. That's quite a big dip in the space of about a month.
Yeah. They did play a few LANs, right? I wonder if, you know, part of that is maybe...
Yeah, they've had some
rough LAN performances. Yeah. There's lots to like now. I mean, again, they still just look so comfortable. This round, maybe not so much. This actually finally feels like a round of the board for Fighters once again. This means it's the start of the map since we've seen successes from them. Trouble. Swinging a fight. Don't completely discount it. They're so low. Like, surely not. They honestly might get a bomb plan out of this, though, which is not a terrible look at things, considering... Oh, they're feeling, yeah, bomb. Gonna be planted. Okay. They've set themselves up. They've been given the luxury of a post plant, which I didn't even think they'd get this far.
No, you are right. Can they get any more, right? If there's a kill that comes in here for Sobol, that might be the difference maker. So Riggy got to convert like this one, and he doesn't. Uh-oh. Orp are going to have been seen. Henky G trying to track him down. Does do a good job. They know where Sobol is at now. Not a lot of time left on this one. There is a kit available. Nade comes in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Henky G, though, with the hold, does get off it. And Sobol going to win it out. Oh, man, it's rough. It's so very rough. Not a lot of time. Makes them panic. And again, another situation that the fighters are just not used to. What do they do there? Are we both peeking the guy? Are we holding the bomb? Am I trying to protect you? And they just get caught in those two mines. Sobol's been there a million times. And this time he'll win it.
Yeah, it's a terrible round to let slip for Fighters, though. At 2 versus 4 with, like... I mean, even before they got the bomb down, they had, like, a combined HP of... It was, like, 50, maybe? Like, 50 or 60. It really wasn't a lot. Oh, man, that's a bad one to let slip. It really is. Credit where it's due. Again, for KOLESIE, no round is ever done until they say so. It's fun. They are never down and out in a lot of these games. But Innocent Friend combined well. Easy move from them to get the double opener.
Baku charging in. Will go down, but he obviously managed to find a kill before, so Neri is already on the board here, but he's got a few more to get. And again, low HP bars, right? This is one that could swing where the fighters. What does he want to do here? There's a huge gap on the side of the smoke. Catches the healthiest player. Trying to spam him back. USP gets it done here. 13 HP. Oh, not a lot required, but Lelani, fearless in the face of death, will take that and make sure that KOLESIE keep them coming.
Yeah, close. Very, very close. And I guess at the very least, there's like a bit of a confidence thing to have there. Like, you can take a small sigh of relief that, like, you know, we've actually made something like that. But again, we're so far past the point of talking about kind of silver linings. Eight, 2-1. Once again, check out our lovely partners at Lorgar. So much you can do over there. We've mentioned them a few times throughout. Track your performance, meet your mates, customize any of your Lorgar devices, all in one enhanced community-proven platform. So, go check it out. At the same time, Rayquaza opens things up as Innocently goes down first, but they've got quite a decent amount of space here to scale in towards the A side. No one's here on the site itself. There is a bit of a flank bro. Look at this by Clocku. The bomb's going to go down. Depending on when he turns, he has two dead to rights here. And no, they turn around. Oh, Byfield checks it.
He's got a sixth sense. Friend on the AWP misses his shot as well, so this is getting kind of frisky over here. 5-on-3 must convert round now for the CT side. Sobol again, though, put in a position where he could get a lot done. Not going to happen for him. And they do win out their fights this time around. Second round for fighters. We're again on the verge of a super dominant one-sided, hard to come back from half. They can get up to that fourth. The hope begins again, and the second half is a clean slate. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think as well, for fighters, they need a few rounds of like real randomness to go in their way, kind of like that. A few that are sort of out of the ordinary to have a real chance, and that's what you can take. We spoke about it a few times. We spoke about it in the previous half as well. It's like 4 rounds is that bare minimum, and then you need a few things to go right around it. Pistol, force buy, first gun round, but they look like they're on track to being absolutely dominated, and that'll help. Swing out, missed shot by the AWP, but somehow he doesn't die immediately, but it doesn't matter. Everybody does on towards the B side. A double molly into CT just to make sure.
A lot of damage done here, though. Once again. Couldn't capitalize the last time this happened. Oh, Clocku, dangerous fight, but he wins it. Neri's going to move to save. He does not know how very doable this might be. He's actually faked things out ever so slightly. There's not a lot of time left on the bomb. But there's enough. Oh. Ah, Clocku knew there was maybe something going on. Maybe a cheeky attempt, a desperate round. Not going to happen, unfortunately. And so, immediately returned on. It's just not what the doctor ordered. And the 10-2 is back in the conversation.
Yeah, double digits being that possibility is the real worry about a game like this. 9 now as we head into the final round of play. Very least there's a buy. There's that double AWP in play for the teams that they're flying towards B once again. The same exact round they've just called back to back, but will the result be the same? Doesn't start the same as Riggy trades positively, but they still should be able to get a plant here.
Should being the operative word, but indeed with that kill, I think it should be locked in. Can they retake here on the CT side? Any kind of grain of competition they can give us is going to be good for them. They break open the smoke, nothing on the other side of it. Double AWPs on the retake here now. That's really not what you want. Very, very tough to get it going. An attempt is made. Byfield, down he will go, and that will be that. 10-2. KOLESIE looking to clean up this 2-0 in a matter of moments.
Yeah, they're just making light work, unfortunately. Oh, fighters who well, let's be frank, aren't doing much fighting. I think at the moment it's been a bit of a breeze. But that was, their statistically favored side. We'll say that. Now they're heading towards their C side, but it's not like their C side's bad by any means. They're just better on their T side because they start on their T side so often. I've got a tech pause though, unfortunately. Hopefully only a brief one. You never know. But a bit of typing means that generally we're normally good to go. And I'm hearing quite a bit of typing, which is usually a good sign.
Yeah, very true, sir. Hopefully it's the case. I'm not jumping on it. You were saying not a long one. Uh-oh. That's a monitor turned off that I saw.
Yeah.
They tried to hide it from us with a quick switch away, but I know what I saw, guys. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a PC restart coming in.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I feel like that's what might be a little bit longer than expected. So it seems like we may have lost somebody ever so briefly, but it won't take away from what is most likely going to be a somewhat quick end, though, to this game. I mean, all 5 are still on the server, which is a good sign. It's not like he's left the server. It's just his monitors decided to turn off, which is,
yeah, might need a
new plug or something. What can you do?
Maybe. Hopefully, got a spare monitor rolling around again. It's a question of the pros and what they have. Just gives it a little chance here to shout out some more of the partners. Got a lot of partners working with Lorgar, of course, out of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. It's Baltic Data, Topo Centras, and Click. They've all got banners down below for you to go and check. And a few offers that you guys can take advantage of. Also going to be a giveaway going on, I believe, during the Lorgar rankings here. There's a PC, a gaming chair, a racing cockpit, and a few other things as well. The racing cockpit sounds kind of crazy. Always something that I've wanted to try is like the sim racing stuff.
Yeah, true.
To be honest. And then I love the idea of just like the Euro Truck Simulator kind of vibes, just setting up the massive gear stick and ultimately, peak unemployment. But looks like it could be a lot of fun. So if that's your bag, go and check out Lorgar. They might be able to hook you up and help you out. But lots and lots of banners down below for you guys to be checking underneath the stream there.
I wonder, can I enter the giveaways? Because I love me bit of everything, really. Racing cockpit would be funny. New PC.
Someone might have something to say if one of the commentators ended up winning the giveaway. Just saying.
New PC in today's day. That's all I'm saying. Like that.
That is true. Yeah, that is very, very true.
I feel like that's that's like gold, having a new PC in today's market. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we're both doing all right, though. We chatted about this the other day. I think we're both on pretty good systems for what we do. I mean, the big thing is, like, I don't think either of us are interested in, like, 4K gaming and whatnot.
Yeah, nah.
That's where these days you need the big boys. But 1080p was kind of solved a few generations ago, I think.
I just checked. This promotion is not available in your region. For the giveaway. Sag.
Well, there you go. No conflict of interest coming in there, so that's all good.
You really hate to see it. Because would I have entered regardless of whether it's immoral? Yes.
No one's gonna know. Fake name, Neokai with a mustache and the big disguise glasses.
There you go. Available in Poland, Czechia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Slovakia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, Croatia, Slovenia, Albania, North Macedonia, Moldova, Kazakhstan, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Cyprus, Greece, and Turkmenistan.
There you go. Damn.
Do I, maybe I can get like a Polish mate to enter for me.
Maybe. That might be less ethically questionable, you know, because if he wins, then it's just kind of between you guys on what you do with the prize. You
There
know?
we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's how you lose a friend, though, pretty quickly when he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, we'll split it. Yeah,
And I
don't
just
worry."
never
And
get
he'll
it.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Never hear from him again. Instant block as soon as
Yeah.
he wins.
And then also it's like a lose for me because I'm not even meant to be entering anyway. So then I can't even be like publicly like, oh, this guy screwed me over because I'm not even meant to be in it anyway.
Oh, goodness.
We are live though. We're back on the way. 10-2, second half begins. Tech issues concluded, whatever they may be. And it's now up to fighters to see is there any fight left in them. Need a bit of pressure on towards Innocent. Clock who's gone aggro in towards A main, and they are going towards A. They slow it down, but this is where they're heading. There's a flank, and Friend and Bialani do so well.
Oh, my. Okay. KOLESIE, I think, listen, there was a timeout getting in here. There was a bit of a breakdown, a bit of like, okay, how are we going to be feeling moving into it? Well, they have just picked up where they left off. And that, I think, really, again, just shows the level that they're able to bring, the professionality of it all, and just how they're able to stew in those tech timeouts and stay cool. And a lot of the time, sit in silence, you know?
Yeah.
And just the consistency factor. We have some individual moments, we have some flashes, we have some potential to fighters, but they just can't replicate it round on round, and I think that's really what is making the difference here. It's kind of interesting to see sometimes, you know, when you watch a team that just have such a great level to them versus a team that are a bit mixier and yeah, maybe on the pug scene where it functions differently, and ultimately it's just your mechanics that are called into question.
Yes.
How much of a difference it can make.
Yeah, because exactly, it's like that baseline. Like both sides obviously have individuals who are sharp and can hit hard, but it's the fact that KOLESIE have obviously really sharp individuals and then real deep game plans, which is just, you can never expect that from a mix. You can never get it.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we were kind of also making this argument about it's going to be kind of interesting seeing between, you know, how good KOLESIE are to see in that upper bracket game if they're going to be fine, and the feeling is yes for me. Even though earlier that Bulgarian squad were really quite scary, like KOLESIE looked just so calm and collected here. Bomb dropped, this low by round being put to bed pretty easily. A little dink that'll come through onto Sobol. He doesn't want to die for nothing, so he'll give up the elbow fight over to Friend. Sees it off 12-2, flawless round for KOLESIE, and up in series point.
All right, let's see. Fighters with their first rifle round here in this second half. Are they able to keep the dream alive and just get some rounds to work with, right? We've got Diamond waiting for them in that lower bracket elimination game side of things, and I don't know. I mean, they looked a little better, didn't they? It's all relative to the game and your opponent, but is there anything that they can work from? Is there a type of round that they can look at and say, this one's reliable?
Oh,
I think the answer is no. Clocku's just managed to find the three-piece off the back of a run boost, I believe, getting across onto shelf super early. So, yeah, it's tough to say the least, but he capitalizes, he rips them apart. Just two players remaining in the blink of an eye.
for Port, Byfield, and Neri. Neri's dead right, his leg spotted, so he's seen off. And last man is Byfield, with it all to do. Smoke as well. Just the extra due diligence here by KOLESIE. They dropped the bomb, but just going to just drop all their util on top of it too, because why not? They could very, very easily just stick all five over here towards ramp. But they're playing this, you know, pretty smart. Just in case he's lurking or flanking Byfield. Will get his one, his consolation kill. But they smell blood in the water, and like sharks, they swarm. Clocky will see it off. 13-2, KOLESIE. Light work from them on their map pick. Beautiful stuff, beautiful showing, and put themselves in a fantastic position. And a great way to start off this tournament as well, right? We said that the heavy favorites coming into us this tournament. We have big expectations for them, and that's the showing we see. You know, lovely. There's no complaints at all, basically.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Pretty much like no worries, almost perfect.